Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today it's going to be a Patreon game between Movie and herO here on Circuit Breakers. Bottom left-hand corner, the white Protoss player Movie, and in the top right-hand corner, the red Zerg player herO. Now, herO probably outclasses Movie, but once again, in StarCraft, anything can happen. herO probably has the better resume, but Movie has a lot of impressive victories. He took one off of Flash back in 2008, right in the middle of Flash's bourgeois status, and whew, alright man, if you can do that, then you can do anything, right? Okay, gonna be a PvZ here for the Patreon cast this week, and once again, patrons get to see this 1 month before everybody else on YouTube, just by pledging $1 a month or more to me at patreon.com/FalconPaladin. That's four extra bonus Brood War casts for you before anybody else can see them. It's a quarter a cast. Holy smokes. All right, man. So probe moving out. Probe scouting is very, very common here in Brood War. Just, you know, just looking to see what's up. Just making sure it's not going to be early lings or anything of the sort. And yeah, there's a spawning pool here on the way. So good call. Good call, probe scouting here, Movie. herO is planning on being aggressive. That was about, I want to say, a 9 pool? Yeah. That was a 9 pool. Nothing too crazy, though. He's also not getting his gas, which means he wants lings, but he doesn't need them to be speedlings necessarily. So the probe's showing up here, and is that a Nexus first? What? Was Movie planning on doing Nexus first, y'all? He's going to see this pool and the lack of expansion and say, you know what? Perhaps we'll abort those plans. Or maybe we're just crazy enough to go for the Nexus first. No, he's not. All right. So Forge coming up. La la la. Yeah, he has enough resources where he was planning on going Nexus first, and then he scouted out. Oh, herO got the hatchery down. That should not have happened at all. Anyway, should have been able to block that for a little bit longer, but oh well, got a little bit unlucky. That's totally fine. So this is why you probe scout Protoss players, is because the pool could be done. There could be lings on the way. If the lings show up and you at Nexus first, you're pretty much dead. Maybe not instantly dead, but you're going to be set behind far enough to where it's going to be really hard to win, and nobody wants to be in that position. So, yeah, at this stage, it's a regular old Forge, fast expand, nothing crazy here out of Movie. A couple lings moving out. I mean, again, this is not a huge commitment from herO at all. He got probe scouted. He was basically said, all right, if I get probe scouted, I'm not going to go crazy with the lings, but if I don't get probe scouted, then, I don't know, maybe I'll send him across and see what can get done. I love this split right now. Actually, that's not a scouting, that's a third base. So he was like, I'm going to take a third base before my natural's even done. How does that sound? There's really not much that Movie can do to stop this at this point, which I kind of honestly love. I know a lot of the Zergs like to go for a 2-base Muta style play against Protoss, but man, I just hate being on 2 bases that long versus a 2-basing Protoss. I feel like if you're not going to hit early, which the Mutas aren't going to hit early, takes a while for that lair to show up and for the Mutas to come. I'd rather have a third base. I'd rather be 3 bases to 2. It's just a more comfortable place to be in a ZVP setting. What is this going to be? Hydralisk Den? Yep, Hydras are fantastic against Protoss generally until Storm comes out. They're surprisingly decent against Reavers as long as you split well enough. And I guess that's true against Storm too, but man, it's hard to split against Storm. Just a huge radius of damage over time. It's brutal. It is brutalis. But yeah, I mean, there's really nothing aggressive that's coming out here at all from our Protoss friends. Cybercore is just about completing. Really just the one cannon to deal with any lings that decide to wander on in here. They will get murdered real fast. Unless, you know, a bunch of them show up, which they're not going to because this probe is still alive. This probe is still scouting. And again, Metabolic Boost is not even being researched here. He is entirely skipping Zergling speed and going right for Hydralisk speed, which tells me he wants to show up with about 12 Hydras very close to now. And he's going to have 3 bases. He's going to have the larva for it. He's droning up right now, but also making 3 Hydras at a time, and that speed is a big deal. So the probe basically says, okay, what I need to prepare for here is Hydralisks. The lings don't have speed. He knows that because the Zergling chasing him has not caught him and killed him yet. Zealot heading down to the third base is not really a commitment. It's just to force some lings out down here, or maybe some Hydras. Something along those lines. The Zealot probably doesn't want to die either, so the Hydra pops out. It was going to probably be made anyway. It's not that big of a deal. Robotics Facility is the answer for Movie here, though, deciding to go for Robo Facility. Which may be going for those Reavers fast. I don't know, but see these Hydras? They are zipping along. Zip, 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 zip. They're not going to have crazy amounts of range, although the range upgrade is now getting started. They won't have it for a couple of minutes here, because again, it's a fairly slow upgrade. Not as slow as some, though. I can just... The regular upgrades for attack and armor and stuff, those take forever. Actually, detouring to take down that Zealot, very surprisingly. Not going to lie to you, it's very strange. Dragoon running away from a Hydralisk Zergling combination here. Actually taking some shots. Really should have just pulled back to the cannon in the first place. And the Hydras are just hanging out, just holding position, getting some shots off onto that gateway. This is pretty standard pressure. I like to see this from Zerg, though. I like putting pressure on the Protoss before they can put pressure on me. If you show up early enough, suddenly they're the ones who are waiting for the tech to bail them out. That's a robotic facility coming in. That Zealot is going to die. That is bad control by Movie. Came out the wrong side of the gateway and got killed for it. Yeah, there's so much pressure here. The robotics bay is now coming in. Just now, but man, you gotta start Reaver production and everything, and that's gonna be a while. Reavers aren't made in a blink of an eye. You're gonna lose a gateway, you're gonna lose a forge. This is not game-ending damage if you're Movie, but it doesn't feel good. I can tell you that much. Forge down. That's gonna delay upgrades. That's something Movie wants to have a lot of his upgrades. Now you can't really. Can you get down here and maybe get that pylon without the cannon shooting you? That'd be amazing. Maybe, but where's our first Reaver? I guess Reaver's coming out here, huh? Yep, it is. It is coming out of here. La la la. Evolution Chamber, Macro Hatch. Again, 3 base in it, going for a lair. And just making sure that anything that comes out of here is going to have a bad time, at least until the Reaver shows up. And the goal here for herO is to not take a Reaver shot to the face with all of his Hydralisks. He's trying to find that angle where he can get rid of that pylon without getting hit by the cannons, and that's it. But ow! Run! It's here! Ugh. Oh, how did that Hydra stay alive? That Hydra should also be dead, but again, Reaver Scarab explosions are kind of random at times and very frustrating. Templar Archives on the way here too. If your opponent is really that invested in Hydralisks, you're going to want Storm, and honestly, against Zerg in general, you're going to want Storm. Yes, the Reavers are nice, but Storm is better, just because it's more reliable. That is my professional opinion. So we got Containing here, right? Blocking off the Sunken. I have another Evolution Chamber and a... I was going to say a 3rd hatchery, but that's like a 4th hatchery. The macro hatches are real right now, which I'm really enjoying. DT's on the way. So I don't know what Movie's going to hope to do here with Dark Templar. There are, well, I guess they're... Yeah, there's Overlords in places. They're not getting the speed upgrade, which is pretty nice. Oh, this Reaver, though. This Reaver's doing work today. How many kills you have, Reaver? Don't get picked up. Don't get picked up. Don't get picked up. I want her to see how many kills you have. That's not fair. That is patently unfair. Yeah, so killing as many Overlords as you can seems like a good use of your time if you're Movie here, because again, you're making Dark Templar, and I suppose it could be for Dark Archons, but I haven't seen those in a while. Again, it's a fairly rare treat to see those in any kind of a game. Usually showing up in PvZ though, and that's a Spire. So the Spire isn't in response to a Stargate from the Protoss at all, because he doesn't have a Stargate. He's not worried about Corsairs. The Spire has got to be Mutalisks, which, again, Muta's pretty good in situations like sniping off High Templar and sniping off Reavers and stuff. It's not bad. Trying to cruise on into the main base. Overlord is going to see this coming with a little bit of advance warning. There's enough Hydras to handle this, as long as they don't all clump up, which I don't think they're going to. So DT going after the drones. Where are the Overlords? Overlords are in the vicinity, but they don't have speed. It's going to take them some time to get here. DT decides to go right after the spawning pool, which, hey, why not? Important tech here. 3rd base coming up for Movie on the left side. Also, there are some Hydras positioned to take that sucker down. Hey, the Overlord is here. Where are you guys going? Save the spawning pool. They're going to save it. The deep damage of a DT is a lot. It's not so much that you can kill a spawning pool that fast. Yeah, but actually, so maybe I guess Scourge. Sure, why not? Scourge to deal with the really annoying shuttle stuff. Did get a bit of a drop down here. Looks like killed maybe 2 drones. That's what the drone pool was. I was like, they're coming back to harvest. No, they're running from the natural base, Falcon. Man, white is not easy to see on this map sometimes. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. But the shuttle! Oh, Movie. That hurts. That hurts a lot. You can't just be losing that. Single Hydralisk bravely attacking all of the probes in the world. Here. Oh, is that Scarab going to go up the ramp and around the corner? No, it will not. It'll get stuck behind a pylon before it actually wrecks that Hydralisk. Pretty good stuff. So 3 bases here for Movie, and only 3 bases for herO. He's in a position where he could expand down here, but Choosing not to at the moment, I suppose. Another shuttle moving out to High Templar in that one. 7 drones at a time in production. 54 to 43 workers in favor of the Protoss. And I think herO needs to dedicate a little bit more to droning up, which he's doing. He's making 4 drones right now, not really doing much of anything else. Other than getting Flyer Carapace, which again, for his Scourge, makes it harder for them to get picked out of the sky by things like Dragoons. Shuttle cruising on in. I really don't see anything else from herO, which I'm kind of worried about. Like, does he have Lurker Aspect? I don't think he does. Is he going for Mutas? He could, but I don't see that in the production tab either. Defilers? No, he doesn't have a Queen's Nest. So, Storm Drop, reaction time kind of insane from herO. Sure, he loses a couple Hydras and a drone, but the High Templar dies too, so that's probably a fair trade. High Templars are expensive, 150 gas. Down the toilet there. Overlords in production, more Scourge on the way, more macro hatches, more drones. Does he just think he's going to win this thing with Hydra? Kind of feels like herO's planning on winning this thing with Hydralisk. Again, no Queen's Nest. Usually at this stage of the game, we see the Zerg going for a Queen's Nest, going for tier 3, at least heading that way, right? This DT is just waiting for drones to come down so he can murder them with his sword. And they're not going to do that. herO is aware there's a Dark Templar here somewhere. The Zealots are pretty good if they have decent number against the Hydras, but that was not a good place for them. It is Mutalisks. Alright, so herO's making 8 Mutalisks. I mean, that's pretty much all he could do. I don't think he wanted to go mass Hydralisk forever and ever, but... Hey, drones, get to work real quick. herO, you got some drones over here, guy. Alright, well, the Mutas are stacking up. Hydras chasing the Zealots down. Scourge chasing this shuttle. herO making 10 drones at a time. This DT got cleaned up. Storm down. That was a weird storm attempt. Alright, well... Oh, that was a good one. That was a sneaky one. I don't think herO was ready for that. Yeah, High Templar getting picked out is never a good thing if you're a Protoss. Okay, so we're a 126 to 113 total supply in favor of herO. 62 to 58 workers. He's finally taken the lead overall in worker supply, which is really fantastic for him. And the fact that he's up in supply right now, close to up in supply at 12 minutes, is not really a great sign for Movie. He's got his Dragoons, which are actually pretty darn good against Mutalisks. Really bad against Hydras, though. And let's see how this works out for him. He needs a really good storm. Like, 2 great storms would be great to start this thing off. And 1 good storm counts. Mutalisks getting in. There's a lot of cannons here, though. And losing a couple cannons. Look! Couple Mutalisks in exchange for a couple High Templar and a Reaver. I don't know about that. That's a really injured Mutaflock right now. And 1 storm could really wipe them out. Lurker Aspect coming in. Missile attack upgrades on the way here, too. Again, the 4th base is running happily for herO. 4 bases to 3 bases is where you want to be. But again, Defilers would be fantastic. Where's the Dark Swarm? Where is the Plague? Throwing down Plague in all these units would be beautiful for herO. Choosing not to do it instead. Scourge. Hunting shuttles, I guess. I really don't know what that was all about. I like that there are Hydras sitting in every mineral line, just waiting for something to show up. Meanwhile, big attack into the 3rd base. There are cannons, but there are Mutas and Hydras. And the upgrades are pretty good here for the Hydras on that range, helping immensely. The 3rd base is going to die. Move out of position there for Movie. His 1 Reaver is going to handle all of these Hydralisks. Thank you for asking. Just kidding. No, he gets murdered instantly there. And 3rd base is down. 4th base, well, what was going to be the 4th base, but is now the replacement 3rd base, is a problem. Tacking on in, though. Movie getting beautiful storms off on a bunch of these Hydras. You can see their corpses where the 3rd base used to be. Dragoons pretty good against static defense, but not as good as they want to be. They do have the +2 attack, though, so maybe better than I would expect. I don't know. Again, this is where the army is. Where it maybe should have been is up here at the 3rd to save it. Also, the 4th is going to die because Movie's army out of position. Kind of defending the natural base a little bit, but Hydra's going to finish that off. Storm. Muta's get evaporated. Oh, storming his own observer there a little bit. Doesn't really matter because there aren't any lurkers here. But a sandwich of Protoss coming in, trying to deal with these Hydras. Going to wipe those guys out. No problem. And Movie's up 140 to 120. So he wins a couple engagements there. Loses a 3rd base. Saves his 4th base. The problem, again, is that the Hydra player, well, herO, the Hydra player here, is up in bases, up in workers fairly extensively. 58 drones to 45 probes. Queen on the way. Queen's Nest, rather, on the way. We will see some tier 3 stuff eventually. Maybe herO thought he could just win this thing without going tier 3, but appears he might have been wrong about that. This is a lot of Hydras, everybody. If you don't have Storm or Reavers, you're going to have a bad time against this many Hydralisks. If you have a lot of Storm and Reavers, you're going to have a good time against this many Hydralisks. We've seen this from time to time. That's really, Storm is the great balancer and equalizer in PvZ for sure. If it wasn't for Storm, Hydras would just win the day. They'd beat everything Protoss has. So again, research Storm if you're playing a PvZ. Never got Overlord speed. I am surprised by this. Hero never bothered with Overlord speed. What he is bothering with is a lot of Hydralisks, though. That's pretty much all he's making right now. A couple Scourge got started. He's got a Hive on the way. These Hydras really just want to kill this Assimilator, and they're going to get it, but all the Hydras die in the process. That a fair trade? I don't know. Overlord would have been able to escape, except for the fact that he is slow, and actually the Dragoons lost interest in him. So that's not as big of a deal, is it? No. The problem for Movie here is he doesn't have a 4th base. Again, 4 base to 3 base is not a terrible place to be against a Zerg player. You can survive on it. But I'd love to see him try to retake this 3rd, maybe defend it a little bit better this time. Maybe actually have a few High Templar here to defend against the hordes of Hydras that came to murder it the first time around. There were not enough. There were not enough High Templar, but guess where was enough High Templar now? Right here in this main army for Movie. Holy crap. Storming on in and doing some work here. Up, Storm takes down the Observer again. Movie being a little bit careless with that. The Lurker's causing problems. Oh, he stormed his own Observer that time, and it was bad. Because he needs to be able to see where those Lurkers are. Dang, herO. Guy. Just storm where the Lurker is. You could tell where he reveals himself with his Lurker spines. Also, it's one Lurker. Keep going. You have an advantage, Movie. Let's go, let's go, let's go. He's not going. Is he waiting for detection? He's waiting for that Observer. I'm telling you, BC would have pushed in that situation. He won that engagement pretty handily. Decided to pull back, perhaps because he was afraid, but perhaps because there was one Zergling attacking this 3rd base. Not a good reason to pull back, and now hero's able to remax effectively. Okay, not remax, he's at 153 supply. He's going for Adrenal Glands, and looks like he got Metabolic Boost eventually. Again, way later than it normally would be, but here we go again. The Storms are having to save the day here. The Micro is pretty non-existent for herO. Storm to the south, Storm to the left side. The Lurker's getting picked out of the ground pretty effectively. There is detection present. Just flooding on in with so much Zerg, though, is herO. But running them through Storms, not really giving a care who gets Sonic Stormed and who doesn't. And Movie is forced to flee from this position. herO didn't even really bother all that much, did he? 3rd base, the cannons are trying to protect it, and they did pretty well to this point, but things are getting worse. These are +2 attack Hydras now. These are not the 0 attack Hydras that we had before. Zealots trying to come in and save the day. There's Lurkers trying to hold that too. Why is your army up here, though? Come save the 3rd. Zealots holding the line. Storm doing pretty good out there. Zealots want to get that Lurker before he burrows, and they do get him. Not bad. So again, +2 Zealots holding the line. Not enough. Wings and Hydras causing a major problem there. A +3 would be really nice for the Protoss at this stage of the game. He is not even working on it. Dark Archon energy. Is he going Dark Archons? Suppose he is. Anyway, the 4th base, or whatever, the 3rd base on the left side here is now dead. And herO, in the meantime, is double expanding. Trying to double expand here, having a hard time up north, but the southern part is going a little bit better for him. 124 to 111 total supply now. Really? Argus Talisman. Is he really planning on going Dark Archon here? Maelstrom Storm is pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. Zealots are just trying to buy time right now. They're just moving across the map, trying to hope that herO doesn't push in and wipe out his 3rd base, which really only has a High Templar defending, and is definitely not enough. herO is floating about 1,000 minerals and 700 gas at the moment, but he's also making 7 pairs of Lings and 4 Hydras and getting upgrades, so he's paying attention to this well enough, I gotta say. But this north base does go down. Whether this is the 5th or the 6th, I don't know. But the army is actually coming up to try to save it, so that's not bad. Army is back for Movie here. High Templar count not as good as it used to be. There's only a couple of them here. Again, Storm's good, but just so much Zerg swarming, I'm not sure how much it matters. Which is kind of the deal. Kind of the Zerg's deal here. Generally, it does matter how much stuff you have. But in this situation, herO just kind of out macroing 160 to 106 total supply. Movie is trying to take the southern base. I don't necessarily see it working out for him. I really don't see it working out for him. Let's just say that. Defiler Mound on the way from herO at 20 minutes. We'll see what happens there. Shuttle picking up for some kind of a drop. There is so much Zerg here. There's even a drone in the mix from herO. He's going to kill you with workers. That's how cool he is. There's really not much to deal with these overlords that are scouting all of the things on this right side. They probably know the bases over here too. And then herO just moves down with, you know, not even his entire army, but a lot of it. This is an engagement that's happening. Again, the storm is just obliterating stuff there. But the problem is the third base is going to die. There is just too much Hydralisk here and too many Lings with adrenal glands. With the 1-1, that's a tap out from Movie, and herO is your winner here in 20 minutes and 55 seconds. So a great game there from herO. Kind of delayed on the Defiler stuff, but didn't feel like he needed it. And that's kind of what ZVP can look like in a situation where the Zerg just feels like he can out macro the Protoss. He can weather 8, 9 storms and just have more and more stuff coming all the time until the storms run out and Protoss is running for his life. And you still have, you know, 10 to 12 Hydras chasing him away. That's generally how this works. Just Hydra count. Scary, man. 2 attack, 1 armor. The Lurkers doing some work here too, but not a ton. I don't think the Lurkers were a big part of this win. But they did well enough. The Lings with Adrenal Glands was fantastic. If it gone much further, like if Movie had been able to defend this and taken the southern base, then I really think we probably would have seen some Defiler play, but Movie, I guess, didn't really warrant it. herO didn't feel like that was something he needed to do, so... It was late, and he never bothered to really go for the Defilers, and he won anyway. So that just kind of shows, again, how much herO outclasses Movie. And there's always next time Movie, right? Right. Overall, 168,000 points for herO, 156,000 for Movie. 531 Zerg units produced, lost about 300 of them, but it's still a bunch remaining. And minerals, gas, and total spent all favoring herO pretty extensively. If you're going to win a ZVP where your opponent has Storm and Reavers, you better outspend them by about 8,000 resources, or you're going to find yourself having a real bad time. That's exactly what herO did. So GG to him, and that's going to be it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You could also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch. All at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.